I don't know why I'm putting this up on the internet. Like, my mother, like, should not watch this. My family members just don't watch this. No family member should watch this. Ooh, okay. Hello, and welcome to a new video. My name is Priti, and I feel like I need to explain myself to you because if you have been watching me for a while, you know that I do not read smut. That is not my preferred genre. That is not what I have ever read. But I was going through a major slump where I just couldn't read anything, and romance books in general have always sort of gotten me through it because they're easy to read, you don't have to think about it too much. And yeah, I read a lot of romance in the month of July, and then I was like, you know what if I read some of those spicy books that people talk about on like Instagram, on TikTok, and a lot of people who I follow also read these sort of books. So I thought, why not? Let me dip my toes into this very interesting waters of spicy smut books. And it was an interesting time. So I basically, in this vlog, you will see me reading 4 books. They include various different tropes such as boss and secretary, and friends with benefits of sorts, and demon sex, as well as 4 men and 1 woman. They all share that one woman. So yeah, clearly I have gotten myself out of my depths and read these 4 books, and I am here to report on that as a person who primarily reads a lot of contemporary literary fiction. Ha, okay, so I think I have started off this book, no, this vlog with the wrong book. Because it is way too intense and it's sort of leaving me a little speechless. So, essentially, this book has just way too much smut, and it's called Tangled in Tinsel by Trilina Pucci. I have it right here. And essentially, I heard about this on Chandler's channel, who was talking about this sequel to this book, actually, where she said that basically it's like uh, the word that rhymes with corn for women. And I was like, how much of that could it possibly be? Yeah, it is a lot of that. So essentially, the book starts off with like introducing us to this girl named Samantha, who is an interior designer, and she is decorating this really rich guy's house. His name is Cole, and he's very good looking, and he has 3 other friends named Jace, Reed, and Alec. Sorry, Alec. So yeah, essentially they are also extremely good-looking men, and she has done work for them as well. But in this party, essentially what happens is that they get snowed in, so the people who were supposed to come for the party couldn't come, and they can't get out. So apparently, these 4 boys are into sleeping with the same woman at the same time. Sort of like the trope, what they call it in like romance terms is reverse harem. So there's one girl and 4 guys, and yeah, essentially they start talking about it. And the good part is that it's been like really respectful and sort of like weird to say but believable, because like they bring it up in a sort of very like nice sort of way where it's not like forcing the other person, and she's also being like, oh my god, these guys are so hot, and like all of that sort of stuff. So I mean, like, it's very logical and very respectful in terms of how they have gone about it, but it's also just like it's made me like blush multiple times. But yeah, I am currently shut up. Oh my god, this is crazy. I am 69% into this book. I don't know if you can see, but like yeah, I didn't even do this for like a bit. I swear to god, I stopped at 69%. So that's fun. But yeah, I am currently there and I'm gonna just go get something to eat because I am hungry for food. And yeah, that I'm gonna do that and then cut back and read this and give you updates. Right, I'm back because I didn't have enough yogurt for my biryani. So yeah, I'm gonna sit and read now for a bit. Okay, so I've finished the book and I mean I liked it. Here's the thing. I liked it because I read it in literally one day. And that's like 250 odd pages that I read in one day because I just could not stop reading it. So I mean I have been in a bit of a slump. So the fact that I was reading it compulsively for like 50-minute stretches is saying something. You know what I mean? Like it was really compulsive in terms of the reading. I forgot the mic. Sorry, my bad. I hope you could hear me all this while. But yeah, so very compulsive in terms of that. But and also like the characters were well done and the guys were really like sweet and very like book boyfriendy, you know, because like they weren't creepy about it in any way. They were dirty about it, but they weren't creepy. And that's like a line that you need to like make sure you're not on the other side of like creepy, but like dirty is still fine, you know what I mean? But yeah, they were obviously like super interesting. And I think in terms of the sexiness, I'm gonna have to give this like a 4.5, like very highly rated on 5. In terms of like characters and all of that sort of stuff, also surprisingly like high, but like sexiness, whew, this was something. It was something indeed. It was definitely con. But yeah, very interesting start to my smut reading sitch. I'm gonna start another book soon and get back to you on that. But oh, hello. Nice to see you. I was just fucking kidding. My laptop just died. Show them you died. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I thought that would be a great time for me to come and talk to you about the book that I'm reading now, and that is The Replacements by Shay Anderson, I would like to say. And it's interesting so far. By the way, if you hear any banging, it's my neighbors. They are doing some construction work, so that's fitting. But yeah, anyway, this book is basically about this lady named Savannah who has just found out that her husband of 13 plus years has been cheating on her, but he doesn't know that she knows. So she's like, I need to figure out like how to be financially sustainable or stable or independent. I'm forgetting words, but yeah, that's basically what like she wants to do because she hasn't been working for the past 13 years. So she decides to get a job. So she gets a job with this guy who's apparently a really like hard ass, but who's a CEO of this company, and his name is Taurus, which is an interesting name. But anyway, so she gets a job there, and I'm assuming that stuff is going to happen with them. So far, it's been interesting because we are seeing how he is just like so attracted to her, and she's just like in her own head figuring stuff out with like how to divorce this dirtbag that of a husband that she has. So yeah, that's legit where I am as of now. And I don't know. I'm gonna go charge my computer now. It has like, I don't know, do you wanna see? It has a lot of poop emojis because it's my favorite emoji. Escaping. This is, I don't know, Google it because it's my favorite face in the entire world. Then there is the book was better because of course. Then there is I am dead inside. There is ye big gayi hai government, which is a very Indian phrase, if you know this lady. Then there is progress, not perfection. I don't really believe that because I don't tell that to myself every day. Then I survived a global pandemic and all I got was this sticker. This is correct. I also got a lot of mental health issues. It's okay. And then there's Ibambi, which is the phrase from the Marvel universe of like Black Panther, which means like hold on or stay strong essentially, which is like their war cry essentially. And then of course is the Thanos ring telling you to fuck off. So yeah, that's my thing. And now that you know that, I am going to go and start working again. Hello, I have got new shelves and I will introduce you to that later. But I am here, first of all, looking like an absolute rat, and I'm sorry that I look like that, but I have the most amazing lip shade on. It just looks really good on me. Anyway, I finished reading The Replacements by Shea Sanderson and I liked it, but also maybe did not, and I think that it is a purely me sort of thing. I felt like it did a really good job of showing you the love that Savannah and Taurus had for each other and like how that sort of developed and how like so I don't know, Taurus is supposed to be this really like assholic boss and all of that sort of stuff, but I have seen worse. I have honestly in my life seen way worse things and maybe it's because like corporate America just hasn't like seen corporate India. I mean, like just come over and see some of the bosses that we have. But yeah, I don't know. He didn't seem as assholic as like everyone sort of made him out to be. Yeah, he did shout at people and like had very like strict things as to what he wanted and when he wanted them and all of that sort of stuff. But like not as bad as I have seen other people in corporate India. So there's that. I'm sure other people who work in corporate India can also attest to that. But this was still really, really sweet. Like, obviously, Savannah has been going through stuff, and Taurus is also trying to figure stuff out. And their relationship seemed like really hot and heavy, but also like really like nurturing and caring and all of that sort of stuff. So like like tropes like taking care of someone when they're sick and all of that also existed along with like sexy times, which were like there was sexy times in Vegas, there was sexy times in house, regular sexy times, then there was online sexy times, there was sexy times in the office, which was fun, and then there was sexy times in a restaurant. But yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, like the hotness of it and the spice of it, etc., was good. But I think that the only thing that is a detriment to me, and it's a very me thing, is that I don't like it when the I don't know, when there's a lot of like profusion of love and when it starts becoming a little like cheesy and a little like too much I love you, you know what I mean? That is just something that I have been known to run away from, even like in real life. So it's purely just a me thing. I think that a lot of people online have really seemed to love this, and the fact that this like sort of exists and that like someone is so like wholeheartedly like I love you and I love the person that you are, and like we are people who either want to look after someone or want to be taken care of, and like totally being okay with that. And like clearly on Goodreads that it has such high ratings. Like I think overall Goodreads average rating is like 4.37 or something like that, with like just a lot of 5 stars. So I can totally see how this is very loved by a lot of people for those specific tropes. However, some things in this book just made me not particularly love it. But again, as I've said, this is a very like me sort of thing where I don't like it to be very, oh my god, I love you. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just me. Overall, I still did give it a 3.5 stars, and I thought the spice levels were also quite good. I would maybe give it like a, well, in comparison to the first book that I read, everything is very tame. So yeah, maybe like a 3.75, I think, maybe, or 3.5. I'm not too sure. I'll have to read the rest of the books to kind of figure out where it stands in terms of spice levels and enjoyment. But yeah, still a good book that I liked but did not particularly love. So, ta-da! I have a hair. Any, uh, uh, yeah, sorry. So, I am here to talk to you about the new book that I am reading, which is Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. And I have to say that I'm really liking it. Essentially, what it's about is that we are following a bunch of friends, but especially this one girl named Janelle, who is the main female character, and they are going to Tulum in Mexico for a destination wedding. But before that, they thought that they would go there for like a week to just sort of like chill and like unwind before the wedding begins, which is a wedding of 50 people. 50 people, that is insane. I wouldn't be even able to accommodate my close family in that I mean Indian weddings. But anyway, yeah, so that's basically what it's about. So there's a bunch of friends, and her sister is the one who's getting married, and her sister is a bitch. She's treating her really badly, and she's like the bridezilla from hell. And yeah, essentially she's getting really stressed out. So in that stress, she and this other guy who is the best man, she is the maid of honor. So the maid of honor and best man decide that they are going to do the nasty, and that way she can de-stress. So that's fun. I wish I had like de-stressing things like that, but I don't. I just read books about people de-stressing with sex. Anyway, yeah, that's basically what it's about so far. So far, it's gotten quite hot and steamy, which is well written, and I'm quite liking it. I also really like the friends group so far. Like, I like the way that like all their dynamics have been explained really well, and yeah, it seems good. It seems steamy, and I'm sure that there is more to come. So I will tell you my thoughts on that soon enough. Also, look at me, I'm matching my pillow, and I'm also sort of matching my like thing over here, which is above my head, which is it basically says welcome, everything is fine, which is the thing from The Good Place, which is one of my favorite TV shows. But also, I love Michael Schur in general. I think that he's a genius. He is the one who created The Good Place, Parks and Rec, The Office, um, and a bunch of other stuff. But okay, so I finished reading the book, which is Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop, and I have to say that I really like this one. I think that it might be my favorite that I've read so far in this video, though I do have another book that I have to read as well. But yeah, so far I think this is quite good in terms of the steaminess. There was a lot of it, but also I think plot wise I enjoyed it. So I think even if the sexy times weren't there, I think I would still enjoy this as a book, which is saying something. But essentially, I liked how the characters were sort of like developed and how they felt like fully rounded as individuals, and also like the plot line. Basically, as I said, like the sister from hell, that is the bridezilla, just really had so many insecurities, and just so much of drama happened, and it was quite annoying to sort of like see. And obviously the main character Janelle just wants to make sure that her sister is having a good time, and like trying not to ruffle too many feathers while getting a lot of shit, so yeah, that was something to experience. But in general, I thought that like I liked the way that it went. Of course, it had a lot of serious things that it also discussed, but it was a little unrealistic. And by unrealistic, I mean that Janelle is a OBGYN by the age of 30, and she also wants to open her own wellness clinic by the age of 30. I'm 32, okay? No, I'm like, please, please, no one has it like that together at 32. Please. Oh no, at 30. Oh Jesus. Oh my god. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the book. It was really good. I enjoyed my time. I thought the sexy times were also great, and the emotions between the two were real, and it felt like love. And yeah, lots of drama as well. And if you can hear anything in the background, it's because it's pouring outside, pouring, and the windows are banging against each other. What a wonderful time. Okay. I have also started the next book, which is called Sweet Vengeance, and this is a book where a woman sleeps with a demon. I was like, let me read some extremely unhinged stuff as well. So essentially, this woman is dealing with something terrible that has happened to her. There is a man who was in her life who R-worded her. I do not want to be demonetized for saying the words, but yeah, that happened, and she wants to seek revenge. So her aunt is this person who can do like summon demons, etc. So she gives her this like rune or whatever, and she summons this demon named Malachi to make sure that she can torment this guy, and then you know. So yeah, so that's what he's there for. But obviously there are feelings that have starting to develop, and she thinks that he is really hot, and it's interesting. I wonder where this will go. There was a scene where they were she was on his lap, and his private part had ridges on them, like ridges. So she basically just rubbed up on it. Yeah, this is going to be definitely interesting. uh, but so far it's been all right. I don't quite love the writing as much, but obviously plot wise it is going decently. But that's all I have to say for now. Good morning. I have finished reading Sweet Vengeance last night, and it was alright for a book about a woman fucking a demon. Essentially, I mean, I don't know how to put this. It was interesting to read about demon sex. He obviously had a very large PP, which she had to get used to. I don't know. But it was not as great in terms of the writing and plot wise. I felt like that was slightly missing. I enjoyed the way that it went. However, I feel like the author is still, I think this is like her second or third book or something like that, and is still in sort of her nascent phase. So, wasn't the best. I feel like it could have been better, but I still, I don't know. I maybe demon things isn't quite my thing, but obviously the demon was quite a sweetie actually, so that was sweet to see, weirdly. And yeah, she clearly had a lot of things that she was working through, but it seemed like it all worked out in the end, because that's what ultimately happens in a romance book. So happily ever after, and things were great. The Sex honestly sounded really painful, but it was supposed to be hot. Uh, I just don't think that that much of a PP is good for anyone's health, you know. So that's what I'm thinking about, you know. Yeah, so probably demon smut ain't for me, or monsterish smut ain't for me. But otherwise, it was fine. I didn't quite have any problems with it per se. Nothing to say really. I'm still reeling over the size of it. Also, he had like a tail that would help with the stimulation. Just very interesting and like innovative, and thought process is, and the imagination. Cool beans. I am going to get ready now. But I'll come back later with my overall thoughts. Alright, so I am done reading these four books and I'm here to report on what my thoughts were overall. I thought that I would first off start with what my overall thoughts were in terms of this genre with just reading four books. Obviously, I cannot say this for a fact, but just the sample size itself, I feel like it's interesting how at least three of the four books had a lot of like plot and a lot of serious things going on. For example, like there was divorce and there was like family expectations, as well as like dealing with life and all of that sort of stuff, as well as the aftermath of being assaulted and what that might look like. But yeah, I feel like that was really interesting to me, where I didn't think that these really serious topics would be discussed in this, but like turns out that I was wrong, that along with sexy times, there was also this, which was interesting to me. In general as well, I felt like the authors really did a good job in terms of also telling us more about the characters themselves. It wasn't just two people doing it. It was also quite in depth about the people and describing their emotions, as well as giving them a fully rounded sort of personality, which was also very interesting. And yeah, I think I enjoyed myself quite a bit reading these books. I think if I have to rank them, my least favorite has to be the demon sex thing, because I don't think that is my thing at all. I cannot, like, you saw what I said before. So no. So that Sweet Vengeance is number 4. In terms of number 3, I think is The Replacements, because as I said, I have some serious icks with overtly lovey people. And then number 2 is going to be Tangled in Tinsel, I think, because it was just straight up sexy time. So if you want to read this book for a lot of con, like the word that rhymes with con, you know what I mean, then yeah, you can totally read this book and just be, you know what I mean. And the first book I liked was the number 1 in my ranking, is going to be Only for the Week, because it had a mix of everything. It did have a lot of steamy scenes, but also it had a lot of interpersonal relationships, and there was a bit of like, oh my god, I love you, but it wasn't too much, you know what I mean. But yeah, that is my overall feelings on this vlog and this series. I hope that you enjoyed it. I don't know if too many of you, my viewers, regularly read this, but this was a huge experiment for me per se, and I feel like it has definitely gotten me out of my slump, which is what my goal was. I zoomed through these books and it was a good time. So don't worry, I have a lot of other fun vlogs coming up, including reading books from Women in Translation, as well as from the Booker Prize, as well as reading some of my most anticipated books of the year, which are like, like Yellow Face and Small Worlds and Wandering Souls and all of that sort of stuff. So, like for the others, I have literary fiction stuff coming up. But for the smut stuff, I feel like if you're here for that, I feel like I will read more of that, because it was like, I feel like it'll be a good balance, like sometimes between literary fiction and like heavy stuff, to read something like this in between and just, cleanse the palate in a weird sort of way. But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. If you have reached here and want to comment and let me know of more recommendations that you have for me, do let me know down below. I do have to shout out the two channels that I primarily get like recommendations from, which is Chandler Ainsley as well as my favorite Mina Reads. I think that they do some amazing recommendations and videos. So if you want more of this sort of content, I would highly suggest checking out those two channels. And yeah, that's basically it. If you are here still, then you can leave me any fire emoji, because there was a lot of burning loins, not lions, loins. You know what I mean. Alright, I will see you in my next video super soon, and hope you're doing all super well. I never know how to finish these things. Okay.